less likely a family is able to pay back a loan, the more likely they are to receive a loan. In some cases, for every dollar in principal families borrowed, they could owe $2 in interest and fees. When families are not able to pay back a loan, the more profitable it is for lenders. This leads to credit card companies and lenders taking advantage of low-income families to keep them in debt. We can see how compound interest will affect many families who have to live paycheck to paycheck.
Grandmother needed knee surgery, and I had to do a payday loan probably about a month ago. But the yield is 23% per month.
It just took forever, 18 months to pay it off.
I overdraft a lot more than I want to. I want to say twice a month, maybe.
When low-income families have to require loans with large compound interest, it becomes extremely difficult for them to pay it off, especially when many of them are living paycheck to paycheck. Some families are not fortunate enough to be fully banked. This leads to low-income families using high-interest charging services, including money orders, check cashing services, payday loans or payday advances, pawn shop loans, auto title loans, or tax refund advances. A family carries around $5,000 of credit card debt from month to month. For low-income families, their income is around 10 times less than middle-class families, so it becomes difficult for the low-income families to pay off their debts. Americans pay $120 billion in fees and interest each year. Interest rates are the main cause for low-income families to be in debt, but the families making less are the families most vulnerable. In the U.S., the ones making less are non-white families. This shows that race is a part of why low-income families are struggling to get out of debt. The American Association of University Women found that black women make up most of the outstanding debt compared to white men and white women. Black women rack up $29,500 in student loans by the time they graduate. The pay gap between black women and other races and ethnicities make paying off their debts even worse. Loan consolidation is where credit card companies try to offer ways to help you pay off loans, like offering another loan to pay off debt, but it's designed to keep you further in debt. There's another major way credit card companies try to keep low-income families in debt.
It's interest. Interest is a random percentage we charge you because you made charges. This is going to get pretty technical and pretty crimey, so let's look at a graph. If you're the average American credit card holder, then you owe more than $10,000 in debt. Let's say your interest rate is 24.99% and you're paying off just the minimum because times are tough, or because times are normal. That means that in 10 years, you'll have paid more than $26,000 and still owe over $11,000 more, and that's just 10 years. After 50 years, you'll have paid $165,729 and still owe more than $17,000. So you will always owe me money.
The video shows that interest rates are designed to make sure that you can never get out of debt. Interest rates for credit cards have increased by 20% from 2015 to 2019. To ensure that interest policies never change, 8 companies control 70% of the total balances of the market, with credit card companies often being a significant contributor. When interviewed, credit card companies were blamed why they would not want to change their bankrupt policies.
And I came in and I had all my little charts and graphs, and in effect, my message was, if you would screen the weakest customers, those who are overloaded on debt and least likely to be able to pay, you could cut your bankruptcy losses by 50% in the blink of an eye. And, this is several hours of presentation, of course, but lots of data to back it up and arguments back and forth. And there had been some discussion, and there was much in the room. Talk about this. And then, a fellow in the back said, Professor Warren. And everyone got quiet. And, it's that classic moment when you realize that's the guy who has all the power here. And he said, very interesting. He said, but if we cut those people off, that's where we make all of our profits.
Credit card companies and lenders will continue to use low-income families to make mass profits with interest and the promise to get them out of debt. This will not change unless the policies for these companies are changed themselves.